At the airport, an agent named Roy Millers is also traveling to Boston, but after reaching the airport, he finds out that his flight has been delayed. He then starts observing other passengers, especially those who are carrying huge luggage. He then spots June at the airport, who is struggling to carry her luggage to the boarding gate. He watches her closely, and after some time, he bumps into her intentionally. He says sorry to her and leaves.
I'm sorry. Looking at my phone, I hate it when people do that.
June takes her luggage to the security guard, who scans it and finds a lot of metal in her luggage. They open her bag and find many old car parts. June explains to them that she is taking these parts to fix her dad's old vintage car so she can gift it to her sister, who is soon getting married.
Those are exhaust tips for a 74 Z28. I restore old cars, so...
The security lets her pass through, and June carries her bag again. Roy again bumps into June intentionally. They talk for a bit, and June walks over to the counter. The lady at the counter tells June that the flight was overbooked, so her flight has been delayed. Roy looks at the people around June and gets alert since all of them are CIA agents. He walks inside the boarding line and tells June that she shouldn't be disappointed since everything happens for a reason. He goes inside the plane without any problem. Meanwhile, some other CIA agents inform their boss that they have found Agent Roy. Agent John, who is monitoring Roy at the airport, notices Roy talking to June and suspects June is also involved with him. To get them both together, John quickly investigates June's tickets and takes her on the same flight as Roy.
We'll have it in hand by the time he lands in Boston. Find out who and what she is.
Shut out the field off.
I got a better idea.
An attendant informs June that her seat has been confirmed, so June follows her without any question because she wants to get back to Boston soon. She walks inside the plane and notices it is completely empty. She looks at Roy, who is the only passenger on this plane, and sits next to him. There are a few other passengers who board the plane, and Roy quickly senses that something is wrong. June and Roy continue chatting in the plane and discuss what they want to do in the future and what their dreams are. June has started to like Roy and wants to impress him, but due to a lot of turbulence in the plane, June's bag falls out of the compartment. Her bag almost falls on her, but Roy catches it just in time. The drinks in June's hands spill on her clothes, and Roy checks if she is okay. June excuses herself inside the bathroom and starts freshening her makeup so she can impress Roy. Meanwhile, outside the bathroom, Roy senses something, and his suspicions turn out right. All the passengers are CIA agents who start attacking Roy. Roy quickly dodges the attacks and starts defeating all of the agents inside the plane.
Cool.
June, who is oblivious of what's happening outside, just does her makeup and talks to herself. The CIA agents demand Roy surrender himself, but Roy beats everyone and makes them unconscious. Suddenly, the pilot comes out and starts shooting at Roy, who shoots the pilot back in defense. The bullet hits the pilot at a lethal point, and he dies on the spot. After defeating everyone, Raj seats them back in their seats and makes the scene look like nothing happened there. June comes out of the bathroom and sees Roy sitting on his seat with drinks in his hands. She walks straight to him and kisses him. After pulling back, June notices that Roy has a tenser expression, but in reality, Roy was looking at the cockpit where the dead pilot was. He tells June that after she went in the bathroom, everyone began attacking him, so he had to beat everyone unconscious. He even tells her that he has killed the pilot, and now he has to try and land this plane safely. June thinks of it as a joke and tells Toy that he is a funny person.
Lost the pilots.
I mean, they're dead.
Roy smiles and walks inside the cockpit. June tenses up and looks back. Another turbulence hits, and all the unconscious passengers fall out of their seats. June finally realizes that what Roy was saying is the truth, and now she is in deep trouble. She runs to the cockpit and sees that the pilot is actually dead. She sees Roy flying the plane and starts panicking. Roy tells her to take a seat and informs her that they are in Boston now. Roy makes an emergency landing in the fields and makes an exit with June.
This is good.
What's good?
He quickly takes off his shirt and tells June that he is shot, but he is all right. He hands June a drink and tells her some instructions for the future. This drink has sleeping pills in it, and Roy warns June that there are going to be some people who will come to June and investigate Roy. Roy warns her to not say anything about him, and if they tell her that she is completely safe, then June should know that she is in grave danger.
You drugged me.
Yeah, it's for your own good. Secure, safe. If they say these words, it means they're going to kill you.
Oh, God.
After telling her the instruction, June faints, and the plane behind them explodes. The next day, June wakes up on her bed confused. She gets up and notices that her clothes are different from last night. She looks around and finds several notes by Roy, who warns her about the agents again and tells her that he has prepared an omelet for her. She changes her clothes and meets her sister at a wedding parkour where they finalize her wedding dress. June's sister expresses that she wants to sell their father's vintage car to buy a house. This disappoints June, and she leaves the shop. Just as she leaves, the CIA agents who had been following her surround her and ask her to accompany them in their car. She gets in, and John asks her about Roy. He explains that Roy was also a CIA agent, but he betrayed the organization and stole something valuable. June constantly refuses to recognize Roy. Then John shows her the airport footage and asks her about Roy. She simply tells him that he only bumped into her and she knows nothing about his whereabouts. John tells her that she is now completely safe with them. Hearing these words, June begins to panic, as these are the words Roy warned her about. After some time, John notices a sniper light on his shirt, and the next second, all of the agents in the cars are attacked by a sniper attack. June quickly grabs the steering wheel and tries to drive the car. Suddenly, Roy jumps on her car, and June looks at him with shock. Roy asks her constantly to open the door for him, but she is unable to hear. During the pursuit, Roy gets shot multiple times, but he dodges the bullets and still tries to get inside June's car. June finally opens the car door after they enter the tunnel, and the door slams without the car. The door flies off and hits another CIA car behind them and causes a huge accident. Roy gets inside and drives their car to safety. After some distance, he stops the car and gets out. He takes out a machine gun and begins walking towards the agents. He tells June to not be scared, as he is going to talk, or rather, kill them. After Roy walks off, June quickly runs from there and goes straight to meet her friend Rodney. Roy also follows her along the way. June runs to her friend who has a huge crush on her and tells him about the situation she is in. Rodney and June sit inside a cafe, and June tells him everything about Roy.
I want to talk about the plane crash. Secret agent or something, and he killed everybody on board.
Roy suddenly shows up and sits next to Rodney. He starts talking to Roy like an old buddy of his, but June signals Rodney that Roy is the guy she was talking about. Rodney quickly jumps into action, but before he can react, Roy takes out a gun and takes June as his hostage. He tells Rodney to keep sitting and escorts June out of the cafe. He forces her to get inside his car while Rodney alerts other firefighters about this situation. Roy shoots Rodney in his foot and lunges on him. He tells Rodney that now that Rodney is shot while trying to save a civilian, he is going to get promoted and become a nation's hero. Roy quickly gets inside the car and drives away with June. June gets completely terrified and asks Roy what is going on. She tells him that she doesn't want to go with him and feels unsafe with him. She tells him that the CIA agents from earlier were far better than him. Roy explains to her that he has purposely kidnapped her so the people start thinking that there is no relationship between them whatsoever and he has forcefully taken her. Instead of feeling thankful, June starts throwing a tantrum, which enrages Roy completely. He stops the car and gets out in frustration. June tries to run away again, but Roy warns her that she is not going to be able to survive without him being with her, as the other agents are soon going to hunt her down.
With me? Without me? With me? It's up to you. So right now I need another car. Keep life is in danger. Someone who trusts me.
June finally calms down and understands her situation. She quietly gets inside the car and drives off with Roy. In the way, she looks out of the car with exhaustion and asks Roy where they are headed to. Roy explains that they are going to find Simon. She asks about why the CIA agents are hunting Roy. He explains to June that he has a very valuable and powerful weapon in his hands, the Zephyr battery, which is created by the kid Zephyr, who is still a student. He explains that he was initially given the task to keep an eye on Simon, but after knowing that Simon had made this Zephyr battery, John planned to kill Simon and sell this battery to the black market. He explains that John planned to blame this murder on him since Roy was given the task to keep an eye on Simon. June finally understands Roy and apologizes for her behavior. Roy explains after he found out John's plans, he hid away the battery and Simon.
Barely out of high school. Simon Feck. Sell the battery. And kill Simon.
So what's next? I mean, what's the plan?
Pick up Simon and get you back for your sister's wedding.
After Roy gets to the destination, he walks inside a warehouse and notices that Simon is missing. He reads the message on the wall and understands that Simon is traveling to Austria by train since Simon likes trains. He is still looking at the message when Roy and June are attacked suddenly by some gunmen. June panics and hides with Roy. She asks him if these people are from the CIA, and Roy tells her that they are from a Mafia gangster who also wants to have his hands on this battery. The gangster's name is Antonio, who has sent his men to ambush Roy and get the battery from him. Roy gets his guns and starts attacking the gangsters. He and June make an exit from the warehouse. After coming to a dead end, June and Roy get stuck. Roy gives June a glass bottle and tells her to drink it. She drinks it and falls asleep. After she wakes up, she finds herself tied up, and in front of her, Roy hangs upside down on a rope. He tells June to relax, and he is going to make an escape route for them. Roy quickly unties himself and helps June get out of the ties. They quickly make an escape and use a helicopter to run away. After this, Roy takes June with him to an island and tells her that this is his secret hiding spot.
Where am I?
My place.
June watches him with awe and finds a chance to run away from him. She gathers her stuff and runs to the other side of this island, only to find it surrounded with water. She feels helpless and receives a call from her sister. She answers her phone, which helps Antonio trace their location on this island. She returns back to Roy and tries to fight him so she can escape this island. Instead of fighting, Roy makes fun of her and tries to stop teaching her how to fight.
You got skills. Get out anytime you want.
Their little fighting session turns into a playtime with both of them rolling in the sand. They are about to kiss when Antonio's gangsters attack the island on their plane. Roy quickly runs away with June and takes her to his secret helicopter. June refuses to sit on the helicopter and tells Roy to make her unconscious. Roy uses a technique on June's neck, and she falls asleep. After she wakes up, she finds herself in a train that is headed to Austria. Simon is also aboard this train. June looks around and doesn't find Roy, so she goes to the attendant and orders some food. A man who is a killer approaches June and starts talking to her. He talks about how there are many people who die in a train ride. June thinks that this man is strange and asks if he is Simon. The man agrees, and June starts trusting her. She then finds a note stuck under her shoes and picks it up. It is a message from Roy, who warns her to stay in her room, and he is with Simon. She quickly understands that the man in front of her is not Simon. She panics and tries to run away. She gets inside a kitchen, and the killer follows her. Before the killer can kill her, Roy arrives there on time and attacks the killer. The killer is very strong, and Roy has a hard time fighting him. With the combined effort of Roy and June, they manage to defeat the killer and throw him out of the train. Simon stares at them in shock, and they get off in the next station. After arriving at the next station, John comes to inspect the train. He looks at the station and sees Roy at the platform. After meeting with John, Roy makes another plan and goes back to the hotel where June is staying. He deliberately lets her hear his call and lets her follow him to a restaurant. June follows him and sees him meeting with a woman named Naomi who works for Antonio. He strikes a deal with Antonio to sell this battery to him. This conversation is overheard by June, who gets very disappointed with Roy.
I will speak to you anyway. We both know you're lucky I'm here. I have the battery. I'm on a schedule.
What's your price?
After this incident, June is taken by the CIA agents to a room where they ask her about Roy. At this point, June's trust in Roy is shattered, but she still refuses to say a word. The CIA agent shows her a video in which Roy bumps her into the airport and places the Zephyr battery in her luggage. After the security guard, Roy again bumps into June and retrieves the battery. After finding out that she has been used all this time, June gets heartbroken and agrees to help the CIA catch Roy. The agent hands June a pen transmitter and tells her to turn it on when she is with Roy. June agrees and meets up with Roy, where she asks him about the deal with Antonio. Roy places the battery in ice to cool it down and tries to stop explaining things to Junebug. Before that, June presses the transmitter. Roy quickly understands the situation and bids goodbye to June to make a run through the window. The CIA agents start following Roy, who shoots them back in defense. June follows Roy in a car with the CIA agents. He stands on top of a tall building where he gets shot by the CIA agents and falls in the water. The CIA agents announce that they have killed Roy. After this incident, June returns back to her home safely, and she attends her sister's wedding peacefully. But all this time, June keeps thinking about Roy and her time with him. She then goes to her garage and tells her mechanic that she is going to keep her dad's car and fix it. Suddenly, a song starts playing on the radio, and she recognizes this song as the tune song of Roy's phone. She remembers something from Roy's phone and searches up an address she saw on Roy's phone. To her shock, this place is only an hour away from her house. At the same time, John and another agent are escorting Simon with them. Simon looks at the way and asks the agents if they have forgotten the way. The next second, Joe kills the other agent and calls someone to inform them that he doesn't have the battery, but he has the person who made it. Simon tenses up and realizes that he is in danger now. Meanwhile, June arrives at the address and tries to peek in, but since it's raining, she gets soaked. She tries to run away, but an elderly couple from the house calls her over and invites her in. She asks them about Roy, but they tell her that they know no one of that name.
Looking for some information about my friend Roy.
June looks at the picture of Roy, and Roy's mother tells June that this is her son Matthew, who was a great swimmer. June quickly connects all the dots and realizes that this was Roy's plan all along. She goes outside and calls someone to inform them that she has the battery on her. After the call, she is abducted by Antonio's men, who take her to Spain, where she is injected with truth-telling drugs. She explains that she doesn't have the battery, but she knows whenever she is in danger, Roy shows up to save her. After she says this, Antonio orders his men to kill her. Roy, who is also looking at them from a distance, notices this and sees June being taken away. He also finds out that Simon is held captive inside John's car, so he devises another plan. He quickly rescues June by defeating Antonio's men and escorts her to safety.
Hi, Roy.
Hi, June.
He kisses her, and they start being chased by Antonio. After running their car, they find a bull race where some people are being chased by bulls, so Roy deliberately changes his route in a way that Antonio's car gets hit by the bulls and he dies. After this, they chase after John's car and find him stopping at a dock. After getting on the dock, John keeps Simon as his hostage and asks Roy to hand over the battery to him. Having no other choice, Roy hands over the battery. Simon tells Roy to not worry, as he is going to make another battery later. Hearing this, John shoots at Simon, but Roy shields him with his body and gets shot. John escapes through the helicopter while Simon and June help Roy. Simon informs Roy that the battery's formula is not correct, and it can explode at any time. The second he says it, John's helicopter blasts, and he is killed on the scene. Roy is then taken to the hospital, where he wakes up and sees Isabel, his boss, sitting near his bed. She apologizes to him for not trusting him and asks him to work for the CIA again. Roy agrees, and Isabel leaves the room. After she leaves, the nurse gives Roy a medicine that makes him faint on the spot. This nurse is none other than June, who makes an escape from the hospital with Roy. After Roy wakes up, he finds himself on an island. June tells him that he is safe now, and they are going to the place where they dreamed of. Roy thanks her, and June drives off to the destination that Roy and June discussed on their plane ride.